Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we talk about Transformers Earthrise Scorponok. We get a look at Transformers Studio Series Blitzwing, and Lemon Tree Toys lets us look at their Bumblebee Movie Soundwave Prototype. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2020, and this is episode 387 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that doesn't bother falsely inflating our listener numbers. We already have an army of bots listening. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey ho.
Creator, producer, and star of Empire of Rust, editor Mike.
I'm 50% bot.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello, everyone. Let's begin discussing Transformers.
Oh, boy. The Transformers are robots, but they're also alive. They have emotions that can think and feel, you know?
Does not compute.
I feel sad.
All right. Maybe we'll have a therapy session to discuss that after the show.
Tell me about your father.
As always, we start the show off by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal and help keep the show going. We really appreciate your support. And if you'd like to join those ranks, if you're not already a Donatreon, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And there you'll find links to sign up on Patreon and PayPal. This week, we do have a new thing that's coming to Patreon. So we had an idea where Yoshi could take part in the show while not being here. And he's going to do a riff on listening to the episode. So he listens to the episode first, gives his feedback.
No, I think he gives feedback during the show as he's listening.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I meant he listens to it first before everyone, before the listeners get it.
Although in this case, they already got the regular episode.
Charles is doing a parody of hosting right now.
Yoshi did an MST3K version of episode 386 and alt mode 186, and those are going up in our Patreon feeds this week. So this is going to be just for Donatrons. Also, PayPal listeners will get access to. So you can hear all the Yoshi you can stand in in these special Donatron bonus episodes. And we hope you enjoy it, and let us know what you think, and maybe we can make this, come out more frequently.
Tip: he left the recording going on alt mode, going way long. You hear like his life afterwards. Like, kid comes in, the wife comes in, gives him shit for not having the supper made. It's fantastic. A real insight into Yoshi's life.
Anything like that would get edited.
Nope, he missed it.
He's not the one posting it. That version of the Yoshi cut will not.
So if you want that cut,
I'm sure he'll be happy to release anything like that if you give him more money, though.
It's all about the Benjamins. Another thing we did want to mention, because this is coming up in July, Patreon has told all its creators that they, starting July 1st, they are going to start collecting sales tax from all the donations that are going through the Patreon site. The amount of tax collected depends on where the supporters are, what their locality is, country, state, city, all that stuff. And their current local sales tax, and also the type of rewards that the campaign is giving out. So I think, at least for right now, nothing for our system is going to change that much. Although we are in the middle of restructuring our Patreon because we want to make sure that we are delivering some value and that we have some new goals that are relevant for, brought up to date, and we can think about some new things to aspire to and offer some new incentives for all you guys out there. But for right now, we don't think you should be getting charged any extra money. I think that the sales tax will come out of our end, or
it's going to be another line item. Like you will pay the same amount, and you'll just see that they take out a little bit more from what we get because the governments want their money.
Yeah.
All the governments. So it's not just a U.S. thing. It's worldwide.
So, so if anything changes, we'll update you as the situation warrants. But thank you for your continued support. Another way to support us is also to buy some merchandise from our TeePublic store. And that is at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. You can also check out K-Girl store, our friend, our artist friend, and her store is at teepublic.com/user/superstark. We've still got lots of cool shirt designs. We've got masks. So if you go through transmissionspodcast.com/shop and buy anything from TeePublic, we get, a little bit of a support. Do it now and do it through our link, and that'll help us out. Also this week, released Monday, Empire of Rust episode 26, Slasher Flick. This was an action-packed episode, and we had a battle with some ferocious turbo foxes. So it should already be up in your Transmissions feed. If you have not, if you're not listening to Empire of Rust, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And that's where you can get all the episodes. And we're coming up on a year. So in a couple more weeks, it'll be the 1-year anniversary of Empire of Rust. So how you feeling, Mike? Is it still going strong?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Episode 27, Rexcellent, is going to be the 1-year anniversary. It's dropping on July 6th. And we did, when was the first episode that we dropped? Last year, it was released on July 8th. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just 2 days before our official 1-year anniversary. We've done a couple of kind of little things on the podcast for some anniversaries, like the 25th anniversary we did. And we didn't mention a whole lot on the actual cast about the anniversary, simply because we record.
It's not in the format.
Right. we record usually a good couple of weeks to a month or two in advance for a lot of episodes. So unless we take special care to be sure we know exactly what episode is coming out, it can be kind of tough sometimes. But
I will say, since you're here, I don't know if you, I don't think we've mentioned this to you, but we got a comment this afternoon on YouTube on episode 1 of Empire of Rust.
Oh, nice.
From Brian Russell. He says, "Sweet Spot sounds like Obama, and that is my favorite take."
Oh man, I'm gonna have to pass that along to Adam there. That is, I think that's kind of the direction he's going with it. But yeah, no, it's really good. Adam's a character there, Sweet Spot. He's certainly one of the more interesting ones on the show.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the amount of really positive and awesome feedback, because this was kind of an experiment to see if people like it, and it's been so popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, granted, we haven't gotten a ton of feedback, but all the feedback we have gotten has been really positive, and everyone's just been saying great things about it. So yeah, absolutely. Keep it coming. If anyone's listening and you haven't dropped a review or made a comment somewhere, certainly do it, because all the cast on the show would certainly love to hear it. And every time someone says something positive or says anything, honestly, I do point it out to everyone who's on the show. So they love hearing that.
And they're in the Discord too, right?
Yep.
They can chat at them in the Discord if they so choose.
Absolutely. We got our own Empire of Rust specific channel.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I'm currently a fan of the running joke of Sweat Spot. That makes me chuckle every time.
Yep. believe it was Rob who first. No, actually, that was me who first did it. No, I just remembered it was Accountbot 4000 who mispronounced Sweet Spot's name. Usually, Rob is the one who comes up with all of the nicknames.
All right, yeah. So definitely, if you haven't had a chance, check out Empire of Rust, our live play Transformers RPG podcast. It's really cool. Mike's and this complete campaign has been run and written and set up by Mike, doing an awesome job there as game master. All right, before we get into the toy talk, we do have our June Toy Hacks $10 giveaway drawing. So this is the last episode of June. So we got to do our giveaway and make sure we give one of our lucky listeners a $10 Toy Hacks gift code. Most of the entries come from our Donatreons because they are always automatically entered every month. But we did get one entry from one of our newer listeners who's been, one of our younger listeners, I should say, Cameron, who's written in a couple of times in the last month or so. So good luck, Cameron, and good luck to all of our Donatreons.
Why don't you remind people how to write in?
Nah, they know.
I'll sit back down.
No, yeah,
that's a good idea. I'll sit down.
Daryl is right. I should remind everyone. So if you can't do it for June, but for July, if you want to enter in July's contest. If you're not a Donatron, you can become a Donatron. That's one easy way to automatically get entered. Or you can send an email to contest@transmissionspodcast.com. Send an email with a picture of the Transformer toy that you would like to get stickers from Toy Hacks. And, just send us a comment that you would like to enter in this month's contest. And that's an easy way to get signed up.
And no, we have no way of proving that that's the actual toy that you're going to get stickered.
Yeah.
we just like looking at Transformer pictures. We just want a Transformer picture. It's okay.
The truth comes out.
All right. Jeremy, is your assistant ready to go?
Computer, are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. We need a random number between 1 and 80.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 80.
Your random number between 1 and 80 is 67.
Friend of the show, Mike Seibert.
Oh, awesome.
Congratulations.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well done, Mike.
Thank you.
Not you. It's the other Mike that edits podcasts.
Hear that, Mike? I'm stealing your stickers.
Congratulations, Mike. Mike also sent in a note with a news item for this week's episode. So thanks again, Mike, and congratulations. And we'll get to that later in the show. All right. I think we're ready to talk some toys.
All right, and first up this week, I am going back to the Beasts. We got a image this week of a Starscream figure that it doesn't turn into a jet. I don't know what the name of this company is. I mean, I can see it. It says it right here. I don't know how to pronounce it. TT Hongli, I guess. Let's go with that. But they're producing a Starscream figure that turns into a bird. And I gotta say, it's kind of cool. We don't have a whole lot of information on it. Not like it doesn't have like a price or anything. It says it's going to be about 28 centimeters tall. So in American, that is 11 inches tall. It's huge. So that's pretty big. But it's going along with this line that, we're taking G1 looking characters and turning them into animals. And it's kind of cool. This figure's coming with 3 different head sculpts. All 3 of them are really just facial expressions. They're not different looking heads. They're just different facial expressions. And the head sculpt on them is a really different looking Starscream head. It's kind of neat. It doesn't look like there's really a lot of like detail work on the figure. Like, intricate painting, but there are some really cool paint, applications here. It's interesting. I'll tell you that. If you're into Starscream, this really might be one of those figures that you're like, you know what? I've had him as a jet, and this is new. I want to try this. So I'm going to open it up to the floor here. Mike, what do you think of this T-Beast Starscream?
It's kind of neat. I kind of like it. I'm interested. Definitely. Mm-hmm. It reminds me a little bit of like transformable Gundams.
Sure. Yeah. I see that.
Just in the way like the kind of bird mode looks. I mean, don't get me wrong. The transformation looks a little odd. I think I'm usually whenever I see a transformer, I can at least kind of get what's happening with it. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, where does a lot of these pieces come from? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a really neat, interesting take on the figure, and certainly something we haven't seen for like a Starscream. I don't think ever. The last time I saw a Starscream that was not a straight up jet was the Hearts of Steel stuff that came out. That biplane.
Yeah, the steampunk.
Yeah, he was a biplane, right? Or a triplane?
Triplane, I think. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've seen that. But yeah, I the robot mode I really like. It looks pretty cool. It looks like it's a jet. The bird mode I'm less a fan of, but it's still interesting looking. The head sculpt, and take it or leave it. I don't have any real problems with it.
Right on. Charles, I understand that you keep very large...
Here we go.
You keep a very large bird cage in your home with no bird in it, and that you've been waiting for such a bird that turns into a robotic-looking creature. Is this what you've been waiting for?
Yes. This is beautiful. I really like this figure. This is cool. I like the light up gimmick. I like the robot mode. Looks very Starscreamy. The eagle mode I think is cool. It's something very different. I just think it's all around a very cool idea. My only complaint is the head sculpts. I am not a fan of those heads. I don't like the bots with no noses. I know robots shouldn't have noses, but I like robots with I like faces with noses. They need noses.
Have to wear glasses. Robots with glasses, they need noses.
Exactly. I'm glad someone here is logical.
Right.
The face just doesn't look like Starscream to me. That's my only complaint. It looks, just kind of weird. But other than that, I think it's a really cool figure. So we need someone to make an upgrade kit with another head that looks more like a traditional Starscream head.
All right.
But no, this is cool. I like it.
Caw. Jeremy.
My bird cage is now ready to be filled.
Jeremy, tell me what your thoughts are on this guy. I know you're not a fan of jets and you pretty much hate all birds. So, I'm pretty sure this is out for you.
Well, this doesn't have, the feature I hate most about birds is them pooping everywhere. So I can deal with a toy bird that doesn't poop.
Okay.
I am, despite, logically understanding why Charles might want a nose. I like the head sculpts.
Cool.
It reminds me a little bit of animated Starscream.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
It's obviously not like, it doesn't have the big chin and all that, but it's just kind of the stylized, I immediately thought animated. Mm-hmm. I think it's fine there. I was really shocked at the wingspan of the bird.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
It's so big. I imagine you're going to probably display it in robot mode if you get this, but I could see some people maybe even like making a perch or something and displaying it in the bird mode. It's a very unique and striking figure, and I thought they did a good job. Is this the company that did the Sideswipe Bull?
No, that's Generation Toy. So I was looking at that before we started recording, and this is somebody completely new. I hazarding a guess that deep down there's some kind of creative team that's at least in communication with each other that have been talking about this. But no, there's this seems to be a whole new company that's strictly dedicating it to making, G1 looking figures based with an alt mode that's an animal.
I did find a post from 2018. The Chariots of the Gods brand announced these, and I think the TFW post references that, but
yep.
You can find the art that this was probably based off of, at least originally, but significantly different as well. I think this is just a great way to go. Especially you get fans of the Beasts, Transformers, but then you get the G1 fans as well. Mm-hmm. And anything that's not a carbon copy of what Hasbro and Takara are doing, I like, because that way you're at least being original.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, the bird mode is kind of jank. The wings are barely attached to the back. So it's a bird if you squint, right? But the robot mode really is the cake topper here. But I really do like the way that this is all kind of coming together. And that post that you just referenced does, if you scroll down, there is a kind of a design alt mode and robot mode for a wheel jack that turns into a wolf, which looks badass, like really cool. Yeah. So if this line continues, I can surely see them doing some really cool designs out of this. Yeah. Personally, I'm decided I'm going forward with Charles is always getting it, trying to find a way to find that he's always going to get it. Jeremy hates it outright. So that's going forward. This is going to be the way I'm going to do these, and you guys have no say.
As long as you're paying for it.
If I want to hear your opinion, I'll give it to you.
That's right. Jeremy, what'd you bring to the show this week?
Well, I brought something from Lemon Tree Toys, which brought us such figures as Purple Potato, which was Shockwave that transformed into Galvatron's ship from the animated movie.
And surprisingly awesome.
Yeah, and surprisingly an awesome toy. This time we have LT04 Blueberry, keeping with the food names, and this is Bumblebee Movie Soundwave. So it's based off of the Cybertronian design as seen in the best parts of the Bumblebee movie. And it looks like it's even going to come with a Ravage. Or there's an image here of Ravage coming out of his chest. And I think this looks really good. His faceplate has that movie kind of faceplate look. That's like my biggest issue with it, I think. But they are trying to be like the Bumblebee movie. He has his a version of kind of the repeating gun that the original toy had on his shoulder, and then a more traditional rifle. I think this thing looks really good, and if reviews of their other toys have been good, this one is probably going to be just as good. Daryl, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like blueberries?
I do like blueberries. I think it looks really good as well. There's a lot of detail here, and a lot of people in the thread have also commented on the fact that it's really faithful to the design. There is no confirmation on an alt mode as to what it transforms into. A lot of speculation on it being like an armored car or something along those lines, because we never saw Soundwave transform in the movie. So we really don't know what he's going to transform into here.
You don't really have any obvious parts on the figure either.
There's one poster here that has narrowed down one section of plastic on the figure that is on his arm and says, these kind of look like windows of an armored car. Really, I mean, it could be anything still. I mean, that's a small section of his arm. So who knows? But it's a cool figure. Whatever he transforms into is still probably going to be awesome. All you have to do is look at the Galvatron ship, the Purple Potato there, and you can tell that they're going to do a good job with transformation. I like the fact that Ravage can, we really don't know if he fits in the chest. We just have an image of the Ravage figure coming out of the chest, so we're assuming that the Ravage figure will transform down and go in the chest. It does appear to have a fairly large compartment in there, but we don't know for sure that it fits. We assume it does, but we don't know.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it looks pretty awesome. No news on price. It does say it's 16 centimeters tall, which in American is
8, 9 inches.
No, six and a half or 6.25.
We round up,
I guess. So that's not that tall, actually. That's pretty short. Deluxe size.
Yeah.
Well, chug size, anyway.
Mike, what do you think of this?
It's a pretty badass looking figure. I'm more concerned about what the next one is going to be named. So you're thinking maybe LTO5 Plum for Skywarp, LTO6 Peaches for RC.
I mean, you're assuming it stays in the fruit family. I mean, we had Purple Potato, so we could go anywhere. This is no limit.
Fair point. But yeah, I mean, I really love the look of the figure. I can't see what this thing is going to turn into at all, so I guess the armored car is as good a guess as any. The gun looks really, really awesome, and I think this is like one of the first times like actually seeing like the weapon on this thing too. I mean, it looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it looks like the rifle he's holding is kind of like a sniper rifle.
Which honestly makes perfect sense for Soundwave, a more patient character, so yeah. But yeah, absolutely, it looks really, really good. I'd love to see it in color. I'd love to see what it transforms into, and would love to get a price point for it so I know how much it would be. But yeah, very nice. And I hope that they do more than just a Ravage. So I do hope that they do a couple other cassettes with them. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. I don't think you should be able to stop at just one. I think you should be obligated.
You need to do this.
Well, Charles, what are your thoughts on this figure?
He does look really good. I wonder if maybe he doesn't transform into anything. I mean, I don't know if he could be just an action figure.
Why would we talk about it then? I mean,
It would be your topic because you do statues.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong and that it does transform into something, but I think it does. It looks fairly kibble free, so. If it does transform into something, they're doing a good job hiding the alternate mode.
The post here does say this is a fully transformable figure.
Oh, okay. Well, I do like the Ravage. I mean, I hope the Ravage also is transformable and cassette-like because it looks like it should be. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the best parts of the Bumblebee movie, and I like that Lemon Tree is capitalizing on that. And taking advantage. I wonder if there will be a Soundwave for a Studio Series Soundwave in the Movieverse line.
Oh, I think they'd have to eventually. It was one of the only, or one of the bots that got a speaking line. That's all I got. Mike, what do you have this week?
All right. Well, I got 2 updates for some Earthrise stuff. First one is some in-hand images of the Deluxe Class Hubcap that's coming out. So Hubcap is a remold, a repaint and a remold of the Deluxe Cliff Jumper, new head, and a couple of new pieces, couple of new weapon pieces. Looks like a 3-part gun that comes with them. So that's cool. And the second part of it is the alternate mode of Fast Track for Scorponok is confirmed to be a spear, in addition to his fast attack vehicle mode thing that he is. So yeah, both a couple of minor updates to these two figures. Charles, I know you got a weapons rack at home. Any room for a spear in there?
I have limited space, and I bought Unicron, so I'm probably not picking up Scorponok, unfortunately. What I understand is that this is an homage to the Japanese Headmasters series, like with a weapon that Black Zarak had. I think is that the.
I believe you're correct. I don't think anything's been mentioned as to like where it's coming from or where it's homaging, but G1 Scorponok didn't come with a spear. He did come with that kind of scorpion-themed shield he had. But Black Zarak, the repaint of Scorponok, did come with a spear. And I'm wondering if Takara is just kind of getting prepared for that with a potential repaint of Scorponok into Black Zarak, which might also be neat.
Yeah, and the Hasbro Pulse's Instagram does specifically call out Black Zarak from Super God Master Force. as that fast track is an homage to that spear.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's definitely cool. A third mode I like that these guys are the Hasbro team has been consistently putting these little Easter eggs into the figures, particularly with the Roar for Cybertron figures. I mean, we had the reflector that had the camera mode, and we had the Soundwave and the Shockwave that had their traditional G1 modes as Easter eggs as well. Continuing that tradition, I like that. I also like the hubcap figure. We talked about this, I think, the first time we saw that hubcap was coming. That it's just interesting to have a yellow repaint of Cliffjumper not be Bumblebee. But yeah, I mean, hubcap's been around for a while, and most recent version of hubcap that in fiction we saw was in Sins of the Wreckers. And I mean, spoilers for Sins of the Wreckers from a few years ago, but he turned out to be a traitor, so watch your back around hubcap.
Friggin' hubcap. In regards to hubcap, the only thing that I really add to that is I wish he was legend sized along with the rest of the mini-bots that came out. Having him as a deluxe is a little awkward.
Well, he's a really short deluxe.
Yeah. Whatever. Daryl, what about you? You picking up Fast Track? You picking up Scorponok? You picking up hubcap?
I like hubcap as a figure, but already having Cliffjumper is not getting me that excited. Plus, being a exclusive, so I've got to figure out a way to find them. Like selects are not that plentiful here. They do make their way into some of the stores, but don't really know where hubcap's going to be. Plus, he's just a different head, really, and a different color. So I do like Cliffjumper a lot. Not enough to get to. It's weird, though, because I do get bored of Bumblebee. If he was a Bumblebee, I'd probably pick him up. It's weird. That's... yeah. But as far as the other one goes, what are we talking about here? Hubcap? No, the Fast Track. Yeah. I like Fast Track. Fast Track looks cool, and the spear being a connection to Black Zarak, I think Black Zarak's happening. I don't know in what capacity anymore. If you had asked me in January, I probably would have said an SDCC exclusive. They might still have that as being some kind of exclusive that comes out somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it now, but all the Titans have some kind of buddy guy now, right? And Scorponok had Fast Track, so they needed to get Fast Track out here somehow. I mean, he had some kind of bonkers alt mode in G1, some kind of like weird tank thing with guns, but they weren't going to do that again. I mean, they've got a bunch of them doing that now. So yeah, put them into spear mode, and then you can double them up for Zarak. So I like it. It looks cool, and it's different. It's not a vehicle. It's a bludgeoning weapon, he's like a giant weaponizer.
I think he actually still has that alt mode, that tank alt mode as well. But
he's
got
the wheels there, but yeah.
I think this is just in addition to that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture now. It is some sort of weird wheeled tank thing that has like a couple of his arms sticking out as a pair of guns.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jeremy, what about you?
I'm not that big of a fan of hubcap just as a character. It's just I don't know. I never had him. Just never really had that much interest. I think the figure looks good. The repaint. I mean, he looks like hubcap. I would prefer to get Cliffjumper because that's more of a popular character. From what I've seen, I'm not getting Scorponok, but if I was, I would be very happy about the Fast Track spear mode. I think that's really neat how they're doing things like that. It's just I never have seen Master Force. I need to at some point. Black Zarak has always been an interesting character. I think the spear looks really cool.
I said I wasn't getting Fort Max. I got Fort Max. I said I wasn't getting Trypticon. I got Trypticon. So I'm saying I'm not getting Scorponok.
Enjoy your Scorponok, Mike.
You have fun with it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's what I got this week. Charles, what about you?
All right. I am looking at some new Studio Series figures based on characters from the Bumblebee movie. We've got new packaging for Cliffjumper and Blitzwing. Unsurprisingly, Cliffjumper, it looks to be a remold of Bumblebee with a different head, although the packaging art just looks like a red Bumblebee. They just photoshopped the Bumblebee art asset red. But the head on the figure actually looks different, like because the movie character did have a different head. And then Blitzwing looks like Starscream, just like he did in the movie. But yeah, and he's not a triple changer. So, but so these are number 64 and 65 in the Studio Series line. And given some more love to the Bumblebee movie. So we already had Bumblebee and Optimus Prime, and now Cliffjumper and Blitzwing. Daryl, any interest in these Studio Series figures?
Blitzwing for sure. I'm really into the Blitzwing figure. One, I want to know how it works, how it transforms, and I really like the look of that figure in the Bumblebee movie. It just there was color to it. One, it was essentially Starscream. I wanted to see that figure do a little bit more, but there was different ideas. But I like the look of the F4 Phantom. I think this one's going to pull off a really cool little transformation. But yeah, I'm going to have this one on my radar once it starts showing up for sure.
Cool. No interest in the Cliffjumper?
Not really. No.
Mike, what are your thoughts on these figures?
I haven't been keeping up with Studio Series stuff. I have like one figure from the line. So these are probably going to be a pass to me. Blitzwing does look pretty good, at least from what we've seen. So that is neat. So I will live vicariously through you, Daryl, when you pick it up. So
okay.
And not really any interest in the Cliffjumper.
All right.
Damn, Cliffjumper getting the shaft again.
He already got murdered, so.
I know.
Spoilers.
Jeremy, any interest in Cliffjumper? Come on, Cliffjumper. Give the show
like
guy some love.
I like him. I'm not interested in Studio Series in general, but I think the Cliffjumper looks good. I'm wondering if it has a bisected mode. No, but he looks good, but I'm sure he is very largely just a Bumblebee with a different head.
Yeah.
I would imagine the alt mode has some differences because it is going to be Cybertronian.
Mm-hmm.
This does also give me hope that there will be a Soundwave, since Cliffjumper appeared for all of maybe a minute.
Mm-hmm. I think it's been confirmed that this Cliffjumper is a remold of the Jeep Bumblebee, though.
Okay, but he has more curves. Like if you look at his chest and stuff.
Okay, well
that's car parts.
That's your area of expertise, Jeremy.
Whatever. Anyway, I think the Blitzwing looks good. I also am going to vicariously enjoy it through Daryl, who I still remember you saying you're not buying any more movie toys.
Hey, settle down there.
I have to bring that up every time. Yeah, but I think it looks fantastic for a Starscream that's not named Starscream. The Phantom is a cool looking jet, like Daryl said, and I think they've been doing a good job with these, even though I'm not getting the series. So I have no doubt that it's going to be really good.
All right, that's my toy topic. So let's move on to rapid fire.
Absolutely, positively, definitely. Nobody can get the job done faster than I can. Nobody.
Rapid fire. Holy shit. We're back to this. All right, let's go through these real fast then, huh? We got a couple upgrade kits. We're looking at a company called 115 Utopia. And these guys have started to come on the scene and produce upgrade kits for Siege and Earthrise figures. So we're looking at a kit right now for Grapple, and it's their third kit. They are doing... their kit includes arm fillers, calf fillers, and thigh fillers. So if you've got Earthrise Grapple, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of gappiness on that figure. So if you're interested, take a look at this kit. Next up from 115 Utopia, it's their fifth kit, and this is for Studio Series 34 Dark of the Moon Megatron. And this kit includes gap fillers for the legs, 4 pieces for each leg, 2 chest fillers that also work as fillers for the truck mode, and a new rusty shotgun. So it looks pretty cool. You can pick it up and really turn your Dark of the Moon Megatron a little bit more badass looking. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Next up is their 6th kit, and this is for Studio Series number 51, Dark of the Moon Soundwave. And this kit includes a chest piece, 2 leg fillers, and 2 laser guns. This is the Mercedes-Benz Soundwave, so there's just a little bit of add-on to him in robot mode to give him a little bit more stuff. And lastly, in rapid fire here, we're looking at the Transformers Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. This is the one that everyone just called the Dead Optimus. They can't just call him Dead Optimus, so they're calling him Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. We have in-package shots of him and confirmation that he will be a Amazon Prime Day exclusive. Amazon Prime Day is going to be July 15th, and he will be up on Amazon USA, Amazon.com, and he is $49.99. So you can pre-order him now and look for him to be shipped out then.
If you see him on Amazon, you can pre-order him. I looked; he's not there.
Oh, he's not there anymore.
And Prime Day 2020 has not been announced, so it'll likely be in July, but who knows?
Well, there you go. So if you're looking for a alternate universe Optimus Prime, this may be what you're looking for. And that'll do it for Rapid Fire.
All right, well, let's move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on YouTube. But we'll also put the audio right here in the podcast so you can listen and hear us describe all of our purchases in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's get into the stuff we got. So I'm going to throw it over to Mike.
Well, nothing new this week, unfortunately. But I did want to show off kind of an oldie but goodie. This is the Nova Prime figure from Make Toys. One of my favorite figures I got, just because I love Nova Prime. I have no idea why. See if I can get a bit closer and keep this thing in focus. Is it in focus? Probably not.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
It's a pretty badass figure. Make Toys did a number of figures kind of on the same idea. They pretty much just stole the design for the old G2 Laser Prime back during the Reveal the Shield days, and made Primes, Nemesis Primes, and Nova Primes kind of from it. But they did do some kind of new stuff with the trailers, like they did like a battle tanker, like the tanker trailer for Laser Prime, and they did this kind of armor set for the Hypernova figure, which was kind of cool. So it's pretty awesome.
And I believe is that the design was that based on the like the Nova Prime artwork we had in Spotlight Optimus Prime, the Don Figueroa artwork?
Yeah, I think so. I think this came out before any of the official like IDW stuff really came out, where they like kind of developed his character. I'm pretty certain it was that one little snippet. Like the first time we saw Sentinel Prime too, I think, and yeah, so a one-off little shot, and then that was where they kind of based a lot of those ideas off of. I think it's kind of true for a lot of like Nova Primes too. That whole kind of like wing kind of look to his armor, I think all just came from that.
All right, I'll go next. Comics are back. I got Transformers number 20 at the comic shop. This is art. This is cover A. I believe this is artwork by Ed Peary, a well-known Transformers fan artist, now getting some official work. And I believe it's also colored by John Paul Bove, friend of the show, John Paul Bove. So that's cool. And we have to get back into context with the main Transformers series. We're in the middle of an arc. The Decepticons are rising up, so I think this is getting more interesting, slowly but surely. Another thing I got was a Father's Day present, because as we record this, it is Father's Day winding down. And this was something I was looking forward to. This is Volume 2 of the Transformers manga. And my wife did an excellent job picking this out for me. Thank you. This goes nicely with my Volume 1, and hopefully I will get Volume 3 whenever that comes out. Collecting the mangas.
And you're reading them, right?
Yes, as long as you have no follow-up questions, yes.
Is that printed in the correct, right to left order?
It is. So yeah, you can see the book opens right to left. Yes. So, but it is all translated into English, so that's nice. So I believe this is the first time that all these mangas have been translated in English. So.
What's that tentacle monster doing to that young girl on that one page?
It's manga, not hentai.
Oh.
Would you care to define the difference in
No. I exercise my right to not say anything else. I don't even know what that word means. All right, Daryl, take it away from me, please. I'm done talking.
All right, well, I also got Transformers Rise of the Decepticons, number 20. This is the same cover, the Ed Perry cover that Charles got. This is a really great cover, and I haven't read this one yet. So I'm looking forward to doing our review on this. Not this week, next week. And yeah,
did you just volunteer to do the review?
yeah, if you want me to. It's a book made of paper, and yeah, no, it would be a terrible review. But yeah, no, this looks like it introduces Strong Arm, so maybe Strong Arm's in it. I don't know. I haven't read it, but that's cool.
She's been in before.
Yeah, she is in it, and she has been in previous issues.
Shut up. Spoilers.
But it does the premiere of Nightbeat. Nightbeat right there on the cover. That's his first appearance.
Was that who that was?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know Transformers. I do have a couple toys. These are G2 toys, and I have had my eye on these for a while, so I picked them up this week. These are... I don't remember what their official name was. I'm just going to call them Propeller Bots. This is G2 Ransack, little plane, and this is G2 Leadfoot. So, little race car with a propeller on top, because why not? And both of their alt modes are kind of jank, but the plane for Ransack here actually fits together really well. So he's pretty cool. But yeah, a couple of G2 figures here. They're fun. What the hell, right? Not too big, kind of that smaller scale, basic size. But yeah, I kind of really liked these two guys. So I think there's 4 in this little set. There's another car, and then there's a racing boat. So got to figure out a way to find those, and then I'll have the set of those guys. Yay, completionism. So yeah, but that's it. That's all I got this week.
All right, Jeremy, we are wrapping up with you.
All right. I'm starting off with a toy. Being Father's Day, I was surprised with Earthrise Optimus Prime.
Yay!
Which is cool, because I almost bought him at the store the other day and decided, no, I should not spend $49 on a toy right now. And then my wife spent $49 on a toy. So this is such a great figure. I have transformed it back and forth maybe a dozen times now. Such a cool transformation. I am very likely going to pick up the Repro Labels kits for this. It is very bland on what you have, especially in the trailer. Inside the trailer, there is no paint at all. and they have a really cool set that fills in a lot of the details that were in the original G1 toy. So I want to pick that up. But this is such a fun figure.
You have Siege Optimus as well,
I do.
right? So
Yeah.
did you compare the two?
I didn't. I haven't yet.
You should.
There's no.
He
doesn't come with roller, right? There's no roller.
No,
No.
there isn't.
No, it comes with the little, med bay robot thing. Although I do hate that there's no cutout, and this thing has a little peg here. So if you wanted to kind of simulate the G1 thing where you had this thing sticking out the top, you can't, because they need to have a 5mm hole there just so it'd be flush. That's kind of annoying. But other than that, I think this is fun. I love that there is a trailer, even though this whole thing is really small. It's just such a good transformation. And I got my kid to go in and tell my wife that he has a tire butt.
You're an adult.
I am an adult, but as we will get into in feedback, she rolls her eyes constantly. I also got the same comic that you guys got, same cover. Not going to add anything to what you guys have added. It's a great cover. It's a great comic because I've read it. I got an advanced copy a few weeks ago of Phil and Dilly's new book, The Games Master, almost famous in the geek 80s. And I haven't finished it yet. This is basically a memoir of his career and his life, like basically from when he was finishing up with film school, through doing Inhumanoids, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all the everything he's done, working with Gary Gygax, creator of Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. So I haven't finished it yet. I'm enjoying it. I just haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to it. I might just spring for the audiobook. So the last of my Father's Day present months ago, at the beginning of the shutdown, like when it was like clear that WonderCon wasn't happening, IDW put out some promotional stuff. They had these like boxes focused on characters that like they'd had for a while, but they put them on sale. And I told my wife about them and kind of told her a couple I would like. And she got me the Megatron box that they had. And I'm not going to do everything because there's a lot of stuff. I'm only going to show about half of it. But it came with, for one, the retailer incentive copy of To All Are One #1. And this is one I did not have, this cover.
Nice.
It's not the cover that you need to have. You need to have our cover. But this is a good image, too. This is Alex Milne, Josh Perez image, which ours is as well. And then I'm going to do these kind of in publication order of the source material. I have Classics Volume 2. These are all trades. They're all very nice and thick. So Classics Volume 2, that's the Marvel books. It has issues 14 through 25 of the Marvel run. Have All Hail Megatron #1. I guess not quite in order, but this is, I think, the first half of All Hail Megatron, roughly. So
First third, I think.
First third. Oh yeah, because they added on. Like
Added on 4
5.
issues, yeah.
Yeah, and then Spotlight Omnibus Volume 2. And I'm pretty sure I actually have Volume 1 somewhere, but this is Spotlight, 12 issues of Spotlight, including things like Cyclonus, Drift, Prowl. Was this the one that had a Mirage, which was like a really good one? Wheelie. So lots of the early Spotlights, really good. I'm surprised that this is actually smaller. Like physically, it's shorter. That was kind of odd, but I don't know. It's good. So I was excited to finally get this because we've actually had it in our closet for over a month now.
And you knew it was there?
Yeah, I didn't know which one she had bought. I gave her a couple, but it was just it's sitting there, and I'm here every day working. And
There's the discipline. Yeah, you didn't go snooping.
I have all this content digitally through Humble Bundles anyway. So, I didn't need to. But anyway, that's what I got.
All right, and that will do it for Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will move on to convention news.
And in convention news this week, we have this was what Charles alluded to earlier. Mike Seibert emailed us to let us know that Cyberfest Northwest 2020 is going to be an online streaming event on August 1st and 2nd. This is normally held in Kent, Washington. This year they're going to be doing, as we mentioned, it's online only. They're going to be doing panels and roundtables and stuff. They're asking if you do have ideas for any of these to contact them. All spots are free of charge. They're going to be trying to do some of their traditional contests as well. So it'll be interesting. It's just another way of kind of keeping their name out and trying to do something. So I think this will be fun. I'm looking forward to checking it out. So it'll be August 1st and 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm guessing that's Pacific time. So that is our convention news.
Okay, and we will finish up the show with feedback. And we got an email from our UK Donatron, Will. He's writing us again. Will says, "Hey guys, so during lockdown, I'm living with my brother, as this has coincided with one of my most intense periods of Transformers fandom. The poor bastard has patiently listened to me banging on about Siege and Earthrise and whatnot for months now, as well as watching as his flat has been taken over by a growing army of toy robots. My friends have experienced a milder version of this recently, and they humor me, bless them. It's been this way for decades, and obviously they have passions that I'm not always interested in, so it's not a one-way street. And so it got me wondering, what do the people in your life make of your love of Transformers? Quiet resignation? Patient understanding? Not really getting it? Sharing your passion? What? Is it up to your online friends to soak up that TF love? Curious to know. As always, all the best to you and yours, and the same to all the other the same to all the other Transmissions listeners." That's a good question, Will. Thanks for writing in again. You're coming up with some interesting questions. For myself, I have to say that I think my family just tolerates it. My kids, I introduced Transformers to them each in turn when they were at the right age, but they each it didn't really take with any of them. So they were interested for a little while, but then they grew out of it, whereas I never did. So my middle son, he's 13 now, he's really into anime, like One Piece. So that's something that's pretty impenetrable for me. So but he still humors me. Like, he goes to see all the movies with me, and it's like we've gone to see the live action movies. We went to see the Bumblebee movie together, and I also took my my older son and daughter to that, although they were
You could make a case that those aren't actually Transformers content.
But yeah, it's and my wife, of course, she's the best. She really has no interest, but she still, just to make me happy, she does the research and figures out what I would like, and has she went behind my back and contacted Andrew Wildman to get me a print. So and also Aaron Archer. So she's as someone who has no interest and no kind of affinity for Transformers, she's done the most research that I've ever seen anyone do who has no interest. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, this is why I'm on the podcast, so I can talk to people who actually care about Transformers. But I appreciate my family for tolerating me.
As you should.
What about you, Daryl?
My wife is really she's patient with it, and she kind of understands that I do quite a bit with this stuff. We knew that when we were buying our house 5 years ago that one of our houses was going one of the rooms in the house was going to be like an office / collection room, and it was essentially just going to be wasted by, for her use. She was not going to be able to use it. It was just going to be my space. I'm going to fill it with toys and junk and a computer and a podcast studio stuff, and and that was fine. That was just going to be my spot. But I outgrew that space, and I said, look, I don't need, she's offered to give me a bigger room in the house, and I told her I don't want that because we can't financially support me filling another room that's bigger. So I've needed to limit myself to this one room. But it is seeping out of this room. Like, I've got pictures and stuff that are now kind of just outside the door and stuff like that, and she gets it. But if it starts making its way into like the family room or, heaven forbid, the kitchen, then I'm going to hear about it. Friends and family that I'm close with and we hang around with a lot really don't ask a lot. Like, I'll mention that things that are interesting, kind of more not directly Transformers related, but more or less like coincidental with regards to the podcast. I'll say, we were dealing with something on the podcast that was, really interesting. Or, when we were talking about the Toys R Us bankruptcy, this and this happened, and that kind of thing. It just kind of makes for interesting conversation with friends. And I generally have been able to keep a lot of it kind of separate. Right. I have a lot of friends that really are not into it. They were when they were kids. And if they come over to the house, they'll say, can I see the room? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'll bring them in and I'll show them the room, and they'll be like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you see a therapist, right? And I was like, no, this is my therapy. So that's about it. But it's, other than that, I pretty much am able to keep everything kind of separate. And I don't, when I do go out places, even when I'm at my local comic book shop and talking with people and, talking about comics and stuff, I really don't bring up the fact that I'm on a Transformers podcast, right? That kind of thing. With my daughter, I like Charles, introduced her to it at what I deemed the proper age, which was 6 months old, I thought was proper. No, it's we started with the young stuff, and she got into it, and she was really, really into it when she was like 5, 6 years old, 7, and she knows a lot of the the main characters, and she'll watch the movies with me. If she can choose what she wants to do, it's not going to be Transformers, right? So but she still maintains that background knowledge of the characters, so she can follow along in a conversation and that kind of stuff, or start a conversation if she so chooses, which is fine for me. I don't expect her to kind of be 100% into it as I am. So yeah, but I'm fairly blessed, let's say, with the family that I have. They allow me a lot of leniency when it comes to this stuff.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I forgot to mention the other thing is, since, among my circle of friends and family, and I'm sure you guys get this too, we're the Transformers guys. So anything that does break out of pop culture news and like hits the wider internet, they all send it to you. Like, did you see this? Did you see this?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it's like, yeah.
And we have to be like,
we saw it first. We saw it before you saw it.
Those kids with the transforming costumes, I think I got sent to me about 35 times. So they're like, have you seen these? These are the best costumes ever. They're transforming costumes. Did you see this? This is awesome. I'm like that's a month old. Yeah, this is, do you know, they're, and then I come back to him. I said, yeah, they're Canadian. This was taken in Ottawa at the Comic-Con there. Did you know that? I'm like, I was just showing you because it's cool. I thought it was cool. I'm like, yeah, trust me, I saw it.
All right, Mike, what has your experience been?
My wife is a little bit into Transformers, more I think just because I am. Like she's got a couple of like the cutesy kind of Transformers things. Like she has some like stuffed Dinobots that she picked up at a con that she came to with me.
You're welcome.
Yep. That was TFCon 2016, I think.
Yep. And I didn't I get a snarl for her at some point?
Yeah, because you were at a con after that, and the voice actor Hal Rail was there.
Yes.
And we needed to get it signed, so we sent that to you, and you got it signed. Yes, Charles. Thank you so much. She's got a stuffed Bumblebee, like the transforming like little plushie thing that went from like robot to car. So she's into like a lot of the little like cutesy things, but not into collecting or anything like that. And so she kind of shares it, but she's not really into like watching the new cartoons, really into watching the movies or anything like that. She's not going to go in like intentionally like binge like G1 for like a couple hours. So I would say a little bit more positive towards it than neutral or tolerating it, but certainly not as much as we are. I have some friends who are kind of in the same position that Daryl's in, where like they're not really into it, but like they'll tell me whenever they hear something about it, and whenever they come over, they just want to see my office, and they'll sit in here for like a while and just kind of gawk at it for a little while. It's like, oh yeah, this is awesome, this is cool. And luckily, most of the people I know are into pop culture in various aspects. So whether it's TV shows or cartoons, I don't know any like full on toy collectors. Aside from like Daryl or something like that, but yeah, I mean, like not in that respect. So overall, I mean, it's been mostly positive experiences. No one's really come to my house and said, "Oh yeah, this is stupid. Why are you doing this?" I don't think I would invite anyone over who I thought would do that. I'm a little more selective with the people I invite over, so
they wouldn't be invited back.
Right?
Why don't you collect pop figures like a normal person?
Yeah. So, like I said, like overall, mostly on the positive side. No one's really done anything stupid like that. So, yeah, positive.
All right, Jeremy. Let's finish up with you. How has your friends and family reaction been to your Transformers fandom?
Well, I showed my wife Will's email and asked her what,
how would she respond?
Yeah, how she would respond. And after rolling her eyes, she said, she supports my hobby because she knows I like it. But I think she said that the only time that it really bugged her was when we were dating, and like she was in grad school, so she was really busy doing grad school stuff. And then like on Fridays when she wanted to relax, that was around the time Armada was coming out. And because of what I was doing at the time with another site I had created, I was recording and encoding the episodes, and that was my Friday nights, and that really bugged her. And I eventually, I think, stopped doing the Armada stuff because the show sucks. So that kind of worked itself out.
So Armada being terrible saved your relationship.
Probably. Yeah. But she supports it. I mean, as you could see in trips to the store, she is not above buying Transformers as gifts for me. It's really more me not wanting to justify spending money on myself. A lot of times that's why I'm not in Daryl's position.
I'm glad I'm everyone's low bar.
No, it's just, I don't know. I just find it with the prices of figures now. I'm like, this is a $10 toy. Why am I going to pay $20 for it?
I'm right there with you, Jeremy.
So on the friends side, I don't really have many friends over, especially now. So it's more, since I work remotely, people just seeing the background, because what you see on trips to the store is what my coworkers see when I'm working, and every so often I'll get asked about it. I explain it. They think it's cool. I do a podcast, and they're appreciative that I actually sound good on the virtual meetings and stuff because I have a real mic. But yeah, I get the same thing you guys do when anything happens in media. I'm sure when the Netflix series is actually out, I will get notes saying, hey, I'm sure you know this, but hey, there's a Netflix series for Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. So anyway, I'm very appreciative. And my son, like, I started getting him excited about Transformers early on, and he's going to be 6 next month, and we just finished season 1 of G1. So we've started making it a Saturday morning thing. We'll watch like 3 or 4 episodes of G1. And I'm trying to get myself ready for his reaction when we get to the movie.
I can tell you one more thing about what my wife constantly is asking, or is asked. She's like, people will ask me, she's like, your husband does a Transformers podcast. She's like, yeah. She's like, what do they talk about? She's like, I don't know.
My wife is the same. I think our wives, when they met, had that conversation.
Yeah. She's like, even she'll ask me, she'll say, I don't know what you guys find to talk about every week. For hours, they talk. And I'm like, I honestly, as a person who does it, I don't know either.
This has all been a fever dream for you, Daryl.
Yep.
I'm just happy to have human interaction, really.
All right. Thanks, Will, for sending in that question. We hope those were some interesting answers for you. So,
that was a great question.
Yeah. And that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. Mike, again, thanks for joining us this week. We already plugged Empire of Rust. I'll plug it again, transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Anything else you want to plug while you're here?
Go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter. It's Minervion, Minervion. I don't really post a whole lot on there, but, couldn't hurt at all. And certainly send feedback either via email, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, on the Discord, however you prefer to do it. Tell us what you think of Empire Rust. Tell us if you're liking it, if you're not, and all that.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
How is that?
Nah, you're gonna have to get up on it.
Oh, hold on, let me see if like Zoom or some app.
Get rid of those sideburns. Mattingly, you're out.
I need a haircut so bad.
Good to know.
Mike, remember, don't grab your microphone. Move it around.
Well, actually, I'm recording it on my soundboard this time, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to worry about that. I can touch this mic all I want.
Nope, you can't.
No.
That was noisy. I just, you can't touch it.
It's almost like it was designed to pick up noise.
I guess I'm not touching anything then.
All right. I think we're ready to talk some toys.
Bow, 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 bow.
No, Jeremy? No, not doing that?
You guys didn't hear it?
No, we did not. We still don't hear it. Oh, there it goes.
I assume a thick southern accent comes out when Charles goes to discipline his kids. I assume whenever anyone starts yelling in the U.S. a Southern accent comes out.
Well, I mean, I think since he's from the Philly area, I think it'd be more of a Philly, New Jersey accent.
No, Daryl's right. That's totally legit.
Nope. Unless you're from the U.S. and you can define the areas by accents, everyone's a Southern accent.
Or what Southern accent?
Well, Foghorn Leghorn. That one.
Okay, so Kentucky accent. Okay.
I say, boy, come on.
I want to know if someone has a family doctor that they go to that sounds like Foghorn Leghorn, and that if they actually trust that person. I said, boy, you got to take this medicine, and you know it's gonna take your hair, and your hair's gonna fall out of your head, but it's okay. Okay, doc. Okay. Stupid boy.
Sounds about right.
My daughter's watching me laugh at these things, and she's like, why is this funny? And I'm like, because the coyote just keeps falling. Don't you see how funny that is?
Because a Roadrunner painted a tunnel and then ran through it, and the coyote just hit it.
And he just ran into the wall. You don't understand. He keeps falling and hitting the same spot. It's funny.
He doesn't fall until he realizes that he's just standing there.
She's like, Dad, but it's not funny. I'm like, this is too high class for you, kid. This is.
I'm back. Sorry.
No excuses.
You're going to have to choose, Charles. You're going to have to choose between your family and the podcast.
I think you know what the right choice is.
Okay. Good night.
I can't believe he hung up.
That's
no dating until you're 30.
Yeah, that's important. Got to make sure they're emotionally stunted.
Yep.
I don't know if Daryl's frozen or he's just holding really, really still.
Mike's having a dick measuring contest with Charles, but doesn't realize who Charles is, apparently.
Charles is the biggest dick.
Yes.
And I got a lot of Transformers books.
Oh, there we go.